In the headlines, the DAPD launches Strategic Plan 2020-2024, the Strategic Plan for Community Tourism currently under review, and youth involvement in agriculture in Castlebruce on a positive path. I'm Andrea Louis with the Channel 5 News, back with the details after this.
Avec Flow, animé on top up, sign up, quittez yo, every video and Flow. It only gets better with Flow.
Flow terms and conditions apply.
Are you still washing your hands regularly, wearing your mask in public, and practicing social distancing? 0 cases does not mean COVID-free. Stay home if you're not well to keep others from getting sick. Continue to avoid crowds in public spaces. Always keep your guard up. We're still fighting this together. This is a public service announcement from the Dominica Red Cross.
Flow helps you stay connected to what matters. Simple plans and a better network mean that you can enjoy 7 days of unlimited social messaging, 3 gigabytes of reliable data to use as you like, 700 local anywhere calls and texts with the always-on prepaid plan, all for $29. Keep your number when you switch to Dominica's most reliable LTE network. Buy wherever you top up. Switch to Flow. It only gets better.
Thank you for staying with us. First up, the Dominica Association of Persons with Disabilities has launched its 2020-2024 Strategic Social and Personal Development Program. Julian Morris has that story.
This program carries proposed projects, events and activities that will be undertaken for the next 5 years and runs from the 1st of January 2020 to 31st December 2024. Executive Director of the DAPD, Natalie Murphy, says the 5-year plan will be executed under the theme Pursuing Social Inclusion, Access and Equal Opportunities through Advocacy for Persons with Disabilities.
We have developed this plan around the United Nations Convention on the Rights of Persons with Disabilities and also taking into account the current implementation of the 2015-2030 Sustainable Development Goals.
This 5-year strategic plan is expected to benefit the entire country and not just the disabled community.
We have the overall goal of the plan, followed by the beneficiaries. We state who we expect to benefit from the plan. First and foremost, yes, persons with disabilities, but we are looking at the entire country because the activities and programs that we will be conducting and undertaking will be also focusing on the non-disabled community.
DAPD Executive Director also commended government on the strides made to adhere to the UN Convention on the Rights of Persons with Disabilities.
In more top stories, the Strategic Plan for Community Tourism is currently under review. Manager of the Dominica Community Tourism Association, Inc., Josephine Dublin Prince, says the COVID-19 crisis has called for a review of the association's strategic plan and a new perspective on community tourism.
In relation to the community tourism, as we speak, we are actually working on reviewing our strategic plan. So the strategic plan would really be reviewed with COVID in mind. And the intention is to create as much as possible localized, visitor-friendly experience. There were times when we awaited the cruise ship and the cruise visitors to come to our shores. Now it's an opportunity to look within, look at what we have as a people, things like the oral history, the oldest person in your community have a story to tell, and this itself can be an experience.
As regards community tourism sites, Dublin Prince would like to see greater collaboration between the Ministry of Tourism and the Community Tourism Association for the development of these areas.
Sometimes the community tourism may identify a site And that may not be the priority of government. So there is a parallel here. And we wish that sometimes we are listened to and we are respected. We are an actual non-governmental organization. We focus on community tourism, but sometimes the government has its own plan. So we hope that the strategic plan that is developed with the assistance of the Ministry of Tourism will help to iron out all of those gaps.
In other developments, efforts to attract more young people to the agriculture sector seems to be making some headway in the Castlebrooks constituency. Parliamentary Representative Octavia Alfred says there are signs of growth in the bay oil and cassava production sectors.
Cassava farmers are positioning themselves for the rapid increase in demands. We expect to be a model for this crop, and we hope that our new modern cassava processing plant will be completed before the end of this year. We have a meeting planned with the cassava farmers, especially coming up soon. Another exciting thing in agriculture is the bay oil farmers. They are very busy trying to meet the increased demands. What is noteworthy about that is the number of young people from Petit Soufriere who are involved in bay oil production. We have people who do potted plant horticulture. They're getting excited, asking about outside markets. People are coming now to Saint-Sauveur and Good Hope to purchase their plants. You know already about the egg production and the goat, pig, and cattle raising.
Housing is another area where Alfred says progress is being made.
We are glad about our housing condition now, with our people moving into the apartments. 124 families move in. So this hurricane season, we are better off than we've ever been because we have more shelters and we have less people to move. There are some people who are waiting for some windows and doors that we hope will come soon. Our health center in Castlebrooks, the repairs are almost completed there. And although both health centers are down for an upgrade, Saint-Sauveur will be repaired too because they have some immediate work that they need to do. We still have people benefiting from social support. 172 people are employed under NEP. We have constituencies still benefiting from funeral grants.
Alfred says sports is also on a high in the constituency. On to health matters. Principal Nursing Officer Terelia Ravalier says the COVID-19 pandemic should be of continuous concern to every Dominican, as there has been an uptake in cases within the Caribbean and Dominica is not immune.
The Principal Nursing Officer who heads government's quarantine facility in Portsmouth says citizens should bear in mind that there is a lot about the virus that we still do not know. She says that's why quarantine is a critical public health and safety measure which is not intended to penalize anyone. She says quarantine remains one of the best ways to prevent the spread of COVID-19. Speaking at a Ministry of Health press briefing on Wednesday, Ravalier said the service given is professional, but it comes at a cost.
PCR test, EC dollars, $100 or US $40 per test. First night accommodation and sanitization fee, EC dollars, $400 or US $150 per person. Each additional night accommodation is at EC dollars, $225 or US $90. Rates per meal for breakfast, EC dollars, $15 or US $6. Lunch, EC dollars, $20 or US $8. Dinner, EC dollars, $20 or US $8. During person stay, they are assigned to a single separate room where they are expected to remain until they are discharged. An inventory of items in the room is conducted in person's presence. They may undergo PCR swab tests to determine their COVID-19 status. Their temperatures are taken and they are asked COVID-19 related questions daily. Free proper meals are provided in disposable containers. No pets are allowed.
While there are rules to be observed during the quarantine period, Ravalier stressed certain guidelines which must be followed.
Persons are expected to not enter the rooms of other residents irrespective of relation, not bathe in the pool or the sea based on your location, must wear a mask to safeguard themselves and others when in communal areas such as the corridor or when in conversation with the medical professionals. Persons are to respect the property. Keep the rooms clean at all times. Make arrangements to have additional cleaning supplies, toiletries, and bedding delivered when needed. Persons in quarantine can also have family members and or friends deliver food of preferred choices and other needed personal supplies for their use. However, all items will be inspected by the police and the facility security before being delivered to persons' room.
She had some specific demands for those currently in quarantine.
Do not abuse the staff. Do not use offensive, threatening, or disrespectful language when speaking to the staff. These behaviors are unacceptable and will not be tolerated. Be practical with requests that you may have, so as we do our best to provide for your needs. Adhere to the rules and guidelines of the facilities. These are in place to protect you and others. And please refrain from tampering with, and more so, removing or leaving with items that does not belong to you.
You are watching the Channel 5 News. Stay tuned for more after the break.
Giving away $30,000 in cash, 2 bags of money plus $1,000 every Friday.
We're flowing better every day, and now we're making parties great. That's 3 ways that you can play. So listen up.
Top up.
$10 or more.
Sign up.
Just switch the flow.
Get a plan.
1 gig or more. If you wanna win cash galore.
We flow.
Win a bag of money.
Cash out.
Get a bag of money. What you gonna do with a bag of money? From Flow.
So top up, get a plan, or switch now to win. It only gets better with Flow.
Flow terms and conditions apply.
Are you still washing your hands regularly, wearing your mask in public, and practicing social distancing? 0 cases does not mean COVID-free. Stay home if you're not well to keep others from getting sick. Continue to avoid crowds in public spaces. Always keep your guard up. We're still fighting this together. This is a public service announcement from the Dominica Red Cross.
A new in-home experience is here. All your services bundled into one simple plan. Faster, more reliable Wi-Fi so that you can binge, play, and stream uninterrupted. Unlimited Flow local landline minutes mean you can talk and talk and talk. Plus the best in TV entertainment with over 120 channels and 29 in HD. All for $160 a month with the new all-in bundle. With Flow, it only gets better.
Welcome back. Youth in Casablanca to benefit from the DYBT Summer Entrepreneurial Hub. Julian Morris tells us more.
This project of the Dominica Youth Business Trust is aimed at introducing young people on the East to the world of entrepreneurship and exposing them to various employment opportunities following this path. The project runs for 1 week, ending on Friday, and targets children aged 10 to 15. Coordinator of the DYBT, Kerry and Remy Timothy, says the organization is using the blended approach for this program.
The Casipru Secondary School was selected as a point for the project because one of our entrepreneurs, Mr. Raymond Vigilant from VG's Agro Processors, saw the need to bring it out into the Art District as one of the facilitators of the first DYBT Entrepreneurial Summer Hub. And he, being from that area, felt that he wanted to take it to his fellow countrymen, and we were very supportive of that. The program takes in a format of both in-person and blended. So we have some of the volunteers or the facilitators, the entrepreneurs, coming in on Zoom to assist the young persons, and then we have some more actually present at the school facilitating the session.
The DYBT is hopeful this summer program will expose the youth in the East to the benefits and opportunities available through entrepreneurial work.
We hope that the young people can see how entrepreneurs make a living, some of the skills that they have to make a living, and how they themselves as young people can already start, no matter how young they are, to see that the skills and talents that they have can be utilized in various ways in order to earn finance. The 4 entrepreneurs who are part of this outreach is Vanessa Winston of New Beginning Gifts and Leathers, who's doing crafting. We have Mrs. Joy Watty of Joyful Design Plus, who is doing basic hand sewing. We have Mr. Avin George of Big Time Fitness, who's doing virtual gym, and Mr. Raymond Vigilant of VG's Agro Processors, who's doing eating naturally with the young persons.
And environmental health officers continue to play a significant role in helping to keep COVID-19 out of the country. Ray Robinson is among the officers deployed at the country's ports of entry. Their presence there is key since Dominica reopened its borders recently. Since then, the country has recorded 2 confirmed cases of COVID-19.
At the ports of entry, our role include boarding every flight coming in to ascertain the health of passengers on board, and that is done through the General Declaration of Health, which is signed by the captain. And once that is completed, then clearance is given for passengers to disembark. We also ensure that travelers wear masks and are observing physical distancing protocols at all times during the arrival process, up to and including departure from the airport. We ensure that travelers' hands are sanitized, and there are a number of sanitizing stations that were erected all around the facility. We also conduct a health assessment for all travelers to include a temperature check. And finally, we ensure the travelers provide confirmation of the health questionnaire and, of course, a negative PCR test result. And both of these, a hard copy is required.
Flow helps you stay connected to what matters. Simple plans and a better network mean that you can enjoy 7 days of unlimited social messaging, 3 gigabytes of reliable data to use as you like, 700 local anywhere calls and texts with the always-on prepaid plan, all for $29. Keep your number when you switch to Dominica's most reliable LTE network. Buy wherever you top up. Switch to Flow. It only gets better.
Are you still washing your hands regularly, wearing your mask in public, and practicing social distancing? 0 cases does not mean COVID-free. Stay home if you're not well to keep others from getting sick. Continue to avoid crowds in public spaces. Always keep your guard up. We're still fighting this together. This is a public service announcement from the Dominica Red Cross.
With Flow, when I bag our money, cash out. Get a bag of money. What you gonna do with a bag of money? Yeah. From Flow.
Yo, check this. Flow is giving away $40,000 in cash.
Oh, yeah.
2 bags of money plus $1,000 every Friday.
With Flow is better every day, and now we're making parties great. That's 3 ways that you can play. So listen up.
Top up.
$10 or more.
Sign up.
Just switch to Flow.
Get a plan.
1 gig or more. If you wanna win cash galore.
With Flow.
When I bag our money,
Cash out.
Get a bag of money. What you gonna do with a bag of money? Yeah. From Flow.
So top up, get a plan, plan or switch now to win. It only gets better with Flow.
Flow terms and conditions apply.
A new in-home experience is here. All your services bundled into one simple plan. Faster, more reliable Wi-Fi so that you can binge, play, and stream uninterrupted. Unlimited Flow local landline minutes mean you can talk and talk and talk. Plus the best in TV entertainment with over 120 channels and 29 in HD. All for $160 a month with the new all-in bundle. With Flow, it only gets better.
To end the news, the headlines again. The DAPD launches its Strategic Plan 2020-2024. The Strategic Plan for Community Tourism currently under review. And youth involvement in agriculture in Castle Bruce on a positive path. Feel free to access our past newscasts on our YouTube channel. On behalf of the entire production team, I am Andrea Louis. And to all of our viewers around the world, thank you so much for watching. Join us next time.